Hello, Indie Choice Picks fans. We are back with another episode of Indie Choice Picks, and today I'm bringing you the creator of the manga made Caius. Now, this is a very interesting story, very interesting concept, and the creator, I just have to tell you, has no following, has no type of social media know-how whatsoever, and in just 3 days, he nearly crushed his entire Indiegogo campaign. So sit back and relax. Let me bring you the creator of Caius. If you guys have any questions, please let us know. Enjoy. Hey, Ryan, thank you for coming on to my Indie Choice Picks. I've been following your story for a little while. I think all the people that I've been talking to on this show, I've been following their stories, kind of waiting for them to either decide to do a campaign or either launch a campaign. And funny fact is that I came across your campaign way before I found you on Twitter.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it was like I don't know. Have you ran a campaign before?
No, I didn't run a campaign before, but I did have this kind of started on Webtoons ages ago,
I think that's what it
and,
was. Some
and
people
then
were
I
sharing.
yeah, and then I ended up pulling it off there because just from doing storyboard work, I was like, I can't, keep this going, so I just pulled it off and been working on it privately, and I was like, well, why would I do Webtoons when I can actually do a crowdfunding?
Got you. Yeah, I think someone posted one of your panels on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, this looks really cool." And then I retweeted it, and then I guess someone else retweeted it and said that, "Hey, this is Ryan Cardinal's work." And then I think that's how we got in contact, and you decided to run Indiegogo. So that's pretty cool. So you guys crushed it in the last what? How long did it take you to finally to hit the goal?
I think it was like 4 days, so not too long, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting it to take a little bit longer than that, but I was really hoping like make a really good trailer, really solid campaign, put the artwork up, and just let that do its thing, because I'm doing everything you're not supposed to be doing. Like,
Yeah. Right. Let me ask you a question really quick. When it comes to your campaign, I've heard people like say that you're not supposed to run a campaign unless you have like 25,000 followers across your social media platform.
yeah, I don't
Obviously,
have
that's not
any of
true.
that.
Yeah, obviously that's not true, right?
Yeah. Well,
All
I think
right.
a big part of that too is depending on what you're trying to go for. If you're trying to make the big bucks, obviously that's going to help out, but that's not my aim right now. My aim is just to start small and hopefully down the road it'll snowball into something.
Fantastic. What did you do leading up? Is this your first kick? Is this your first campaign that you've ever ran before? Is this
Yeah, this is first shot at everything here. First creator-owned project. I used to be a tattoo artist for like 19 years, so
okay?
putting stuff together is like daily basis. Yeah, somebody
Mm-hmm.
comes in, they want something, you make it, you put it out, so on and so forth. It's the same thing, but just on a different scale.
Got you. Now, I don't usually do this, but this is evident because most people who watch my show, they ask me like, what's better to do? Is it better to get a following and then do a campaign, or to do a campaign and do a following? To me, it's both sides of the same coin. So I
Mhm.
just want to ask you really quick, like, what did you do in preparation for your Kickstarter to be successful in 4 days?
Let's see. Well, like I said, the first thing that I made sure was to have a really solid trailer. Like that
Okay.
was that was super important for me because I knew coming out of the gate, if I had nothing to show other than artwork, I got nothing to show. And
Mm-hmm.
as well drawn as my stuff is, a video helps sell your stuff that much better. And because I don't have 25,000 people, I was like, that's where I got to focus and push toward that way, and that's going to help me out.
Fantastic. Okay, right on, right on. Because I haven't watched your video yet, but I mean, just looking at your title screen right now, did you do all the video effects yourself, or did you hire?
Yeah, it's all me. The only thing that I didn't do was the music, and even with the music, I made sure that I pulled something that was free to use from the YouTube library,
Mm-hmm.
so that way, if anybody plays it on YouTube, they're not going to get copyright strike or anything like that. So,
Yeah, YouTube's been sucking lately with censoring people and kind of stuff.
yeah.
It's really ridiculous. So, all right, we're gonna jump right into this. I'm gonna give the floor to you. Just kind of tell the audience who you are, how long you've been in the industry, and what prompted you to write Caius. And go for it.
Okay.
All yours.
All right. Well, I'm Ryan Cardinal. For 19 years, I was a tattoo artist, and before doing this comic book stuff, uh, I was just drawing on people for years and years. And 2016, I kind of just had enough. I was like, "That's it. This isn't the thing I want to be doing when I'm old and gray." Because as awesome as tattooing is, it slowly just chips away at your body and destroys you. Because
Yeah, I
you're
think
an
that's every
off
job.
yeah, but like the doing artwork and it's destroying you. Oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
quit doing that, and then 2016 I started working in animation and video games, doing storyboards, and worked on a Netflix series called The Hollow. I did storyboard revisions for season 1, and I just finished doing storyboards for season 2, and that's out in 2020. But now that I'm done with that, I kind of really want to be done with it and just focus on the story of Caius, and make that my full-time thing.
Okay,
Preferably.
so you're like the pinnacle of all comic book artists. All I hear from not only just comic book artists, but from indie authors and stuff like that, they want to quit their day job and do what they love full time.
Yeah, that's preferably it. But I know that there's gonna be like a gap where it's just like, all right, you got to pay the bills, all that kind of stuff. But even with that, I'm at the point now where I don't want to be doing my art as my actual full-time job anymore, because it just siphons away the creativity, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of the day, when I come home and I want to be doing stuff, it's so much to pull it and just be like, come on, let's make it happen. When I've spent the last, anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, doing storyboards, my mind is fried from doing that.
Yeah. I remember back in 2015, I lost my job, and I was working on my first comic, and I can tell you just right off the back, I was waking up because my wife, she gets up at like 4:30 a.m. to go to work, and she can't be quiet worth a damn. So I'm up, and so I'm doing my comic books from anywhere from like 5 in the morning till about 2, 3 in the afternoon, sometimes further. And after that, you just like burn, and then it just comes into repetitiveness. And
Yep.
I talk to other artists who have day jobs, and they do their day jobs, and they come home and they try, and very fiber they being, they try and come home and work on their art, and sometimes it just does not work out. And I'm guilty of it too.
Oh yeah. And I find, especially doing like the actual like you are drawing all day, you think they'd be like, hey, I'm all primed and ready to go when I get home. It's just like, no, your brain is mush at the end
You're
of it.
done. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, kind of making it to where you're doing the thing that you love all day under the smoking gun. It kind of, like you said, chips away at you a little bit, and it kind of just keeps you from doing what you want to do in terms of like writing that last page of that story or getting that last panel or cell done on your work. And you want to keep everything fresh in your mind. Like when you get that jolt, be like, I want to draw. Like there's nothing that should be holding you back. You should be able to jump into your desk and start to go instead of having to be like, wait, I drew like 40 hours last week. I don't want to do that right now. You know?
And that's kind of where I saw the path of doing the storyboards, and I was just like, I don't want to do that either, because I can see where everything goes as far as like the hills you can climb and the doors that'll open, and I'm like, I'm not interested in any of that.
That's true. True that. All right, we're gonna flip the script a little bit. Let me share my screen with you.
All right.
I got your campaign open right here, so let me know when it becomes visible on your end, and we can start telling the audience about Caius and what is going on with this. It looks great, to be honest. It has like that manga. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it now.
It has like that manga feel to it, and I definitely got that vibe when I was reading through your overview and all that stuff. So go ahead and shed a little bit more light. Wow, that gives me like a little Naruto nostalgia right here, for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely inspired by like Dragon Ball, Naruto. I don't know if you've ever read Blade of the Immortal.
I read a little bit, not all of it.
Yeah, it's like I love the art style in that, because like it has so much energy in it.
Yep.
Also influenced by Avatar: The Last Airbender, just like how good the storytelling is in that.
Yeah, I love the Avatar show. Like I wish they would bring that back with more seasons. But I heard Netflix is doing a live action.
Yeah, with the original creators. So
yeah, then that's going to be cool. But they need to hurry up, because I'm like this close to canceling my Netflix. There's no nothing good on Netflix anymore, man.
Yeah, you got to get that VPN so you can start just siphoning from all the other countries.
I think I just might get my cousin's account and just use his and just say, hey, I'll save my $13 a month for something else.
Oh man, and they keep bumping it up. Like 2 months from now, it'll be like 15. 2 months from now, it'll be 17. And
God, no. Like I could take that money and cancel all my streaming service and get live TV with Hulu and get DC, the DC streaming service. Like I would do that instead. Or like I heard a Disney one that they're coming out with looks pretty dope.
Well, it's super funny now because I've been keeping an eye on how much pirating has increased again. Now that everything is like it's super funny because like Netflix came out, pirating plummeted. Like nobody was pirating. But now that the price has gone up and everyone's starting their own streaming services, pirating is starting to skyrocket again. So
yeah, I mean, I was watching TV with my wife last night, and we're just going through, like, we went through all of our streaming services to find something to watch, and it was like nothing to watch. And I'm like,
yeah.
we're paying like damn near between all of our streaming services at least $50-$60 a month, and there is nothing that catches our attention. Like,
and you're right back. You're right back to being on cable again, essentially.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, I was like, man, let's turn on CNN or something. At least there's something interesting there. Let's watch the news because there's nothing else happening. Like, we've watched Lost like 4 times. We're on our 3rd run of Bones, and then we're like, man, we've been watching the same shit since 2012. Let's watch something new, but there's nothing new. It's just so annoying. So
yeah.
For sure, man. So you drew all this by yourself. Do you have a team working with you or what?
No, this is all me. I'm writing, doing the art, doing the lettering. So
now, is this just issue 1, or are you doing your whole story? Are you breaking it up into?
There's no way the whole story can fit into one issue. There's no way.
I am just blown away how you just killed like your whole campaign in like 4 days. Like, that's insane. Like, I've heard people who have killed it in like the first hour, but those people have like, they've worked for the big twos, you know, Marvel and DC, and they already have a huge following. So
yeah,
they drop something that's good. But someone who doesn't have, don't take this the wrong way or anything,
don't worry, man.
Somebody who doesn't have a relatively like overwhelming following, and you're able to drop something like this and completely smash it within 4 days, like, that's incredible. That is fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the story. What's going on in the story?
Oh, with issue 1, we follow the tale of a lone rider as she. Here, let me get my pitch up here because I have it ready to go here.
Take your time.
Oh yeah.
I guess doing it in black and white kind of saves on coloring time, huh?
Yeah, there's a reason for that too. If I'm coloring it, it just adds so much time to the overall project. And I also haven't dialed in on a coloring choice that I wanted to do for the entire series. So as an option for down the road, whether it gets picked up by a publisher or something like that, or if I do like an omnibus, that's one of the options that I'll have available too, is a colored edition.
Okay.
But for the meantime, because I love manga and black and white comics so much, I want all the first printings, all the first appearances, all that kind of stuff in the original black and white.
So when people get that colored version, like that special cover, they'd be like, oh, so this is what such and such look like. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's funny you bring that up because that's one of the secret tiers that I have available only through my mailing list.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to my website, www.caiuscomic.com, sign up to the mailing list, you'll get a free 8-page preview, and you'll have access to the secret perk, which is only available to subscribers of the email list. And that takes you to a full wraparound, full color cover that's only available. That's a secret perk. So
that's fantastic. Another thing that's got me my mind blown is that you did this all by yourself. Like, you don't have no team, you don't have anybody working with you. This is all you.
It just me grinding away, you know.
Hey man, you got to do what you got to do. How long have you been working on this?
Story actually came up in like 2005, and it's just been chipping away at it and refining it, but also making it loose enough where if something happens along the way, I can play with it, you know. It's not set in stone where I can be like, no, this has to happen at this particular time and there's no way around it. It's like, no, I got room to breathe and make stuff up still, which is nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see you wearing your drawing glove right there. I'm wearing mine too.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us a little bit about this story.
Okay, where we got there? I'm sorry. I'm trying to. I thought I brought it up, but I guess it. Conan the Barbarian, 90s Kid. No, this is for another thing that I had. Damn it. Okay, let me just try and wing it here.
Go for it.
So in issue 1, we follow the tale of a lone rider who's being hunted down, and her cargo that she's carrying is the key to her freedom and her damnation. The people that are pursuing her are magic-imbued psychic bounty hunters, and they're trying to capture her because she's a thief. and what she's stolen could possibly topple the power structures of the current model. As she's riding across this foreign land, she's trying to enter into a realm known as the Dragon Mouth Pass, which is like this crystalline shard labyrinth. And if she can make it through that, she can effectively disappear because it is so treacherous to get through. And and that's kind of like the first book is just dealing with her running away and getting into there and the results of everything that happens from there.
Okay. And this is her right here. This is your main character right here?
Yeah.
What is your main character's name?
Actually, she is technically not the main character.
Okay. I will say, well, what is her name, more or less?
Maya.
Maya, okay. And your main character hasn't shown up yet, correct? Will they show up in issue 1?
They are in issue 1, depending on if I hit stretch goals, yeah.
Okay. I think you're going to hit those stretch goals. You got like damn near a month for people who are going to back in.
I hope so.
I'm pretty sure you're going to get it. So did you go through like the whole classic character designing and stuff like that with this? Did you go through the whole ringer of designing your character, making them look as such, and just going from that? Tell us a little bit about that.
So the main character, Nido, just a nightmare because you're trying to create that classic, iconic boy, you know, like Naruto looks like Naruto, Goku looks like Goku, you know, but I'm just like banging my head against the wall. I was like, how am I going to do this? but then I eventually settled on something because I drew it over and over, and every single time I was like, nope. And then I hit something. I was like, ooh, I like that. And I'll just keep that. And I'll keep drawing other things until I found, ooh, I like that hair. Oh, I like that chin. Oh, I like that outfit. And then slowly he pieced together.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's him in the center there.
I see. It kind of reminds me of like a little bit of One Piece and a little bit of Fairy Tale all mixed into one.
You know what? I'm literally trying to grab all those elements and just suck them all in because I love the whole like the team environment. I love the concept of like an epic adventure and running across random people, and like those are the stories that I really love growing up and whatnot. So
yeah, I mean, they don't, even with like manga and anime, like the last good anime I watched, I don't even remember. I think it was, I'm late on this, but it was Death Note. That was the last one that I watched, and that was about 2 or 3 years ago. But I haven't really gotten into anything new because like I finished Naruto, both the manga and the anime. I'm like, oh, nothing can compare to Naruto. This is it for me. Like, you know, I can't do anything else, and I haven't really jumped on anything new in terms of anime or manga. Wow.
If depending on what you're looking to get into, like One Punch Man is amazing. Like season 1,
One Punch Man was great.
It's mind blowing. Like if you love Naruto, if you love Dragon Ball, it's like if you love superheroes, it's like this weird just smash up of all that stuff.
I heard that was good, and My Hero Academia was pretty good.
My Hero is awesome because it's really weird because they really dial in on what it means to be a hero. Like, sure, it's anime, it's manga, it's got its moments of silliness and stuff like that, but when they decide to like this is a moment, you're like, oh man, this is awesome.
That's cool. That's cool.
Another good. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say another one you can watch too. That's awesome. Is Mob Psycho 100.
Never heard of that one. That's a new one.
Yeah, it's they're on season 2 right now. So picture if Professor X was a teenage kid that could walk, and he is hands down the most powerful like psychic telekinetic dude ever, but he's just a kid.
It kind of reminds me of that movie Akira a little bit.
It's kind of like that, but he's really just trying to be a kid, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's going to school, he's joining clubs and stuff like that, but he's super awkward. So he joins like the fitness club because he's out of shape, you know? He's like,
yeah, I got to get back on my anime. It's been a long minute since I've done an anime. So you're actually the first one who's actually, well, maybe second, but who's done like the traditional black and white. Now, going from draft to pencils to ink, how long does it usually take you to finish a page?
Let's see. Well, I like to do I like to get all my thumbnails out of the way first.
Okay.
So I'll do instance of anywhere from 6 to 12 pages at a time of thumbnails. And then that way I now have 6 to 12 pages I can just bang out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the page, I can be anywhere from a page to 3 pages a day, depending on what it is. So
And that's just thumbnails,
uh,
or
if
that
I'm
all?
uh, if I'm concentrating on thumbnails, thumbnails can be, if I'm lucky, maybe like 2 or 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
But once I have those, then I can fly through the actual illustrations.
Okay. I've never really actually done the whole like black and white thing. I was actually thinking about doing that because I do all my work too by myself, but I do
Mhm.
have a freelance ink artist who does my inking because dude, I suck at ink. Like I've tried it. I can't get it. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I can do the drafting, I can do the pencils, I can do the coloring and lettering, but when it comes to inking, it's like that brick wall I just slam right into. So I
Yeah,
just outsource it to other people and they get it done and it looks fantastic. So, but I was thinking about actually trying to do a black and white because like you said, with the color, like it saves time. It saves so much time. I've
hmm
been working on the same page for like a week now and I'm nowhere near done coloring it between doing that and my actual life. So it takes a lot. And
yeah,
I was planning on having my Kickstarter start in June, but that's probably not going to happen at this rate. It takes a lot of energy to do all this stuff.
yeah, man. It's I will say that's one thing that definitely is eating up all my time is just uh, the promotion. You know, like getting out there, talking to people, even just posting on Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff consistently. I'll look up and be like, oh man, it's been 4 hours.
Hmm.
Just so I'm like, okay, this is part of the job, this is part of the gig. And I think that's another reason why I was able to hit the goal so quick is just utilizing all my resources at hand. One of the things that I did was anybody that was on my Facebook list, either friends and family, the regular list, or people that were on my Facebook page list, I
Hmm.
sent out uh, one-off messages to every single one of them to help build up my mailing list.
Yep.
And then when it launched, I hit the mailing list, and that's how a nice big surge came right from the beginning. So
Yeah, I've been hearing that's the way to do it is to like put off your campaign for about a few months, if not a year. Build that mailing list of people who actually want because they say that 10% of your mailing list are going to be reciprocated. So you can take that 10% of whatever number you have of
yep.
email addresses and just kind of do the math and contribute to who's going to do what with your campaign. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where a lot of indie goers are doing, especially creators, is that they are just kind of, I wouldn't say giving themselves a hardcore deadline with their art and their work and their story. They're kind of focusing more on getting that list built and then pulling the trigger and then launching that campaign and stuff like that. And I think I'm doing that too. I just kind of found myself doing it. Like there's no like deadline on my work anymore. Like usually it was
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's coming out August 2019. Be there. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And then I realized that, man, no one's hearing me when I say these things. So like, what's the point? It's better to put in all this work and have people actually read your work and you benefit from it versus you doing all this work and no one's reading, you
Yeah,
know?
that's it's a tricky thing too, because like I wasn't sure how things are going to be received when I did this, because you don't know until you actually do it. So
Hmm. Yeah. Well,
um,
a lot of the stuff, a lot of like indie stuff, and it baffles me. Like again, like you are like a success story when it comes to these kinds of things because again, you have no following or anything like that, and you were able to crush your goal in 4 days. How did that feel when you woke up this morning and was like, "Holy crap, my thing is fully funded"?
it was super funny because like I woke up, I got my kid to school, and because I was up super late the night before, just kind of like drawing and getting stuff like set up, I just went back to bed as soon as my kid left. I didn't wake up till like mid-afternoon. And then I have all these like texts like, dude, like you're fully funded. That's awesome. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm fully funded. Like, so I pretty much just slept through it. So,
Now you're
which is pretty funny.
127% overfunded. So what would be like, let's say your stretch goals? What are you expecting that number to be? Like what would be, if you can have a certain number, what would it be in terms of stretch goals?
Uh, Preferably, if you go down, you can see the stretch goals that are laid out there. I have it, I think 25. 25,000 is like the top tier I had before I kind of just blank out after that. And was able to hit that, that would be awesome, because then I can bump everything up. I can make it into the 50 or the 64 page book that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, there's also lots of other cool little things like the sticker set, the 5x7 inch print. Now, the 5x7 inch print, if I hit that, the way that I have it in mind, like with prints that you get, you kind of just get it. It's a piece of paper, and a lot of people are like, cool. And then that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you go to the comic book shop and they're like, hey, we have these like free promo prints, and you take them and then nothing really comes of them, you know? So with my idea is with the print, anybody who backs it and it hits this print level for the next 9 campaigns, if you keep it, they will all form a 15x21 inch poster.
Oh, that's cool.
So
That's
each
really
one,
cool.
each one will add to the overall poster, and then that way it gives it some collectability, you know, and also makes you part of the campaign through issues 1 through 9.
That's cool. I see what you did there to keep your audience engaged with your campaigns.
Well, trying to give like prints are always one of those things where I'm just like, you gotta do something for them a little bit more, like just a little extra, and that's what I came up with. Is like, you know, the old X-Men cards from the 90s, and you collected all of them and they'd form the poster. And I was like,
yep, I remember
why not do that with a smaller print, like bigger than a card, but you know, something that can still be framed and added to.
So with your stretch goals, let me get this straight, because I'm still trying to understand the concept of crowdfunding, and I'm sure a lot of people are watching my videos. They're asking me these questions. I'm like, I don't know, but I'll ask the next guy who I have on. But
I don't have answers, man, but I just got ideas.
I hope you have the answer to this one, because I'm still trying to get it. So your stretch goal, let's say I jumped in right at, let's say right here, $20, your basic comic. That's your basic tier, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's say that you hit the stretch goal of like, I don't know, 5,000, right? 5,000, you get a trading card. Does everybody who has participated, including me, with that $20, they get that stretch goal and anything else that unlocks afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you set that up with a third party, or is there just something that you threw into the campaign and you're going to do yourself?
For the first campaign, I'm doing everything myself, because I want to see how much effort, time, energy, all this stuff takes from beginning to end. And then that way I can have a better gauge once I start doing the next one and the next one, how much I can let go, how much I can pre-plan, all that kind of stuff. So for the first one, I'm trying to eat as much of it as I can, as far as hands-on is concerned.
Because I've backed like a ton of projects since I started this whole indie choice thing, and I finally got my first backing kit, like to me like a couple of weeks ago, and I could have sworn I just like got the book, but it came with all this other stuff, and I was like, well, what is all this? I don't remember paying for this, but apparently the creator had a stretch goal that was just completely decimated, and I was like, oh, cool. I got all this stuff for that, so that kind of made me happy. And I was like, okay, so this is what that was. That was a stretch goal. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, well, my man, Ryan, you are a success story, and I hope people watching this are getting out of the stigma that you need a following to do a Kickstarter. That's not necessarily true, because as you can see right here, ladies and gentlemen, the guy has raised nearly $4,000 in 4 days. And I don't know what your Twitter following is like, but mine's crap. So
mine's small, man. Like I only got I think 650 people on there. Actually, anybody who's out there listening right now, I'll give you a really good resource to kind of give you a benchmark as to approximately how much you might make on your campaign. There is a Kickstarter calculator on this guy's website called.
Is it the Comic Launch guy?
That is it exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Comics Launch. I listened to his podcast, and that's what kind of got me started with doing all this stuff in terms of indies and getting you guys out there. And he drops a lot of knowledge on how to run a campaign efficiently. And he actually, if you guys are still listening, I hope, he runs a weekly webinar on what you can do to prepare for your Kickstarter or your Indiegogo platform. Like so it's every Wednesday, I believe. You can sign up free on his website. And it's a live webinar to where you can go in there and just take notes and, prep yourself. And he kind of gets you thinking outside the box on things that you could do, things that you probably not have even considered. Like the whole poster thing that you said, like, you get a piece of poster and throughout all the campaign, it forms like this huge poster. Now that's genius. That's smart. I never wouldn't even thought of that, but that'll keep people engaged. That'll keep people remembering you and keeping them on the lookout for other campaigns that you might do.
Yeah, there's like I said, I'm always trying to find ways to do the same thing, but just slightly different. That's why one of the tiers I have a wood print, one of the $50 tiers. And I was just trying to be like, what can I give somebody that's a little bit different, that's cool? And
you said a wood print?
It's a 8x10 wood print, and it's on 1/4-inch birch. And it's the cool thing with it is each one that I make, because they all have to be handmade. So in the finishing process, even though it's all the same print, because of the finishing process, each one will have slightly different embellishes or imperfections with the process. So that way, not every single one is exactly the same.
How much time did that take to draw on that?
Oh, it's a image transfer process.
Oh, I thought you were doing this all by hand. I was like, man,
hell no.
Dedicated.
Hell no. No, image transfer process. It does eat up time, but like I said, it's a cool little extra. A little bit of time on my side versus somebody having something solid in their hands,
That's cool. That's cool, man. Well, let me get the screen back together. We're kind of running low on time right now, but it was cool talking to you, man. I mean,
you too, man.
I think you're like the first person, like my last 4 or 5 interviews, that didn't have the whole face thing going on. So it's actually fun to not talk to a screen.
Yelling into the void.
Yeah, like, hey man, you still there? Because I can't see your face. It's just a black screen.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'm talking to, but that was cool, man. So I'm really looking forward to your Kickstarter. I hope the audience that are watching this interview, they're interested in your Kickstarter too, and I hope it gets them over. I've been seeing a slight increase on my views, so I might do a little damage on you to get your stretch goals going. So I hope that helps you out, buddy. So
I'll be plugging it too, so little back and forth there. So
for sure. So before we go, is there anything you want to tell the audience about your Kickstarter? Any words of wisdom to newbies like me or anybody else watching?
Let me just say, make sure that what you're putting out there is your absolute best work. Make yourself a good trailer. And by a good trailer, I mean, I spent about a good, 15 hours watching trailers on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and just to watch them and what I felt while watching them. And about a good 90% of them made me not want to buy their product.
Really? What was one of those defining factors?
One of them is when the creator starts talking about themselves. Instantaneously, I'm like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not me. I'm just really sitting there with a gut reaction. And when the creator comes on, is like, hi, I'm so and so, and like, you just tune out.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that I've put it is like, well, F me, I'm going to remove myself from the equation and just focus on what I can do, and that's make a cool trailer focusing on the artwork, some sweet riffs of guitars to kind of capture the action of it and stuff like that. And that's the other thing too, is I edited it to make it like an anime intro. Like when you watch it, it's this blend of almost like, is this a cartoon? What is this? And that's the goal I went for. I wanted you to ask at the end, cool, what is this?
Fantastic. How long is your video? I heard that the length that you want to have a good video is about 3 minutes.
I went just over 2 minutes.
See, that's quick, straight to the point, because we know in 2019, no one has an attention span anymore.
Nobody has attention span, and I actually edited it with that in mind. The average attention span is 7 seconds. So as long as that, and here's the worst part, that's on the high end. That's on the high end now.
We're turning into goldfishes, bro.
Oh, dude, it's brutal. So next time you watch TV, watch every time they make an edit cut. It'll be within 7 seconds.
Really? Oh my God, I gotta check that out. That just blew my mind.
Yeah, so anytime you watch a movie, anything like that, just start counting when they make an edit and a cut, just go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and it'll cut, within that time frame.
Wow, my mind is blown. Well, the more you know, right? The more you know. So one last question for you. When do you plan on having this out to your backers?
So I pushed the actual date 6 months down the road just to give myself enough time, just in case anything pops up. But I have 30 pages of it drawn up already, with 64 pages already thumbnailed. So a lot of it's on its way. It's happening.
Okay. Do you do what do you use? Photoshop, GAMP, or any other anime studios?
Clip Studio Paint. Clip Studio Paint's my go-to. I actually dropped Photoshop. I was like a devout user for 15 years. I did one single line drawing with Clip Studio Paint, and I was like, get out of here, Photoshop. I don't need you anymore.
I may need to jump over to Photoshop because I'm trying to, not Photoshop, something else, because I'm trying to work on my digital inking. Like I said, my inking is not too great. And I did it with Photoshop, and I was like, oh.
No. Photoshop is like the worst thing to ink with.
Really?
All you're doing is just constantly getting angry at your lines.
I've noticed, yes. What about Autodesk? Have you used Autodesk?
Yeah, I've used Sketchbook Pro actually for some of the jobs that we did with animation doing storyboards. That was like the standard thing that we use. Mm-hmm. I like the way it feels, but Clip Studio Paint feels more like drawing on paper.
Okay, so I'm old school. Like I do my first 200-page comic book on paper, all by hand.
You will love Clip Studio Paint. Just download it for a trial, give it a go, mess around with some of the features. I almost guarantee you're going to be like, yeah, I'll put $50 on this, like this.
Is it $50 like monthly or $50?
No,
right?
Straight up.
That's what I don't like about Photoshop and Adobe, that they have that monthly thing now.
No. So here, I'm just going to be a shill for Clip Studio Paint right now. I'm not getting kickbacks. I wish I did, though. But they have two versions. The $50 one, it gets you pretty much absolutely everything you're going to need to make comic books. Plus, it has built-in 3D mannequins, which if you're having trouble with a pose, you can pose the mannequin, move the angle however you want, zoom in, zoom out, like fisheye it, all kinds of awesome stuff. Mm-hmm. Plus, when you sign up to them, you get a free access to their library, which is thousands of brushes, thousands of models, thousands of poses. And you can use all of them license free, because that's part of the deal. You make it, you use it, and it always goes on sale 50% off every 3 months.
That's cool. What's the name of it again?
It's Clip Studio Paint.
Clip Studio Paint.
Used to be known as Manga Studio.
Oh, okay. I used to use Manga Studio, then I stopped.
I would say, like, if you still have it, upgrade it to the newest stuff, because it is really, really good.
Okay, well, that is good. You hear that, artists out there who can't ink like me? Use Clip Studio Paint, because it seems like just look at this artwork over here. Looks fantastic.
It makes a world of difference.
I bet. So, all right, Ryan, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate all your knowledge. And, man, again, this is the guy to follow, ladies and gentlemen. If you're about to draw a Kickstarter, run a campaign, or anything like that, follow Ryan on Twitter. You can't miss him, Ryan Cardinal. His picture is literally a cardinal. I mean, you can't really.
Yeah. All my social media is just the Ryan Cardinal. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, it's just the Ryan Cardinal.
Awesome, Ryan. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. When you do run issue number 2, I say this to all my artists: if you run a campaign in the future, let me know. We'd love to have you back on the show and see what's different, what's changed, what new avenues, just to kind of keep up with, fan favorites. Because apparently I have fan favorites now. So, hey,
that's awesome.
I know you might be one of them once this video goes live. So who knows?
Sweet. Well, thank you for having me, man. This was totally awesome.
No problem, Ryan. You have a great night, and we will be in touch for sure.
All right. Peace out.
All right. Bye.
And that is it for this episode of Indie Choice Picks. If you are new to this channel, I welcome you and hope you will subscribe for future interviews. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back and supporting indie artists. If you are an indie artist and you are trying to gain exposure with your webcomic, Indiegogo campaign, or Kickstarter, please send me a message in the comment section below, or you can find me on Twitter at heroic_studios or on Instagram at will@heroicstudios. I will be also taking on new interviewees in the month of July, as June is nearly completely full. So please enjoy the next episode, which will be coming in about a week or so, and I will see you guys then. Bye.